Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another here once again, and in today's video I am going to be doing a ranking video for all of the modern Doctor Who Dalek stories. Now a little bit of a random video today, completely messed up my wording there, but yeah, a random video where I'm just going to be literally doing a little mini tier list where I rank all of the modern Doctor Who stories. That does not include the cameo appearances. It's got to be like a full Dalek story, or where the Daleks are like basically at the centre of the story. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we go. They're all in kind of like a little bit of random order. But if we go for the first one, that was the Dalek episode in 2005, literally just called Dalek, that is definitely going to be an S tier, because oh boy, it was so good. It showed the strength of a Dalek just by itself, and I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, I've got to say, it was a really good introduction or reintroduction to the Daleks. Then that was followed later on in the series finale for Series 1 with the two-part episodes, Bad Wolf and The Parting of the Ways, that introduced the Dalek Emperor, and a full-size Dalek invasion that, again, I've got to say is S tier, because it showed the Daleks killing a bunch of innocent people and how strong and menacing the Daleks really are, and it showed them at full capacity. But then things get a little bit hefty. With Army of Ghosts and Doomsday that had to deal with the Cybermen, the whole threat of the Void, the Daleks, and it was a little bit messy in some places, but it was still a really good episode. So I'm going to put that as an A, just because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good episode. I was a little bit annoyed, though, that it kind of didn't give the Cybermen much. I know we're ranking this purely off Daleks, but the Cybermen were made to look like literally shit. Like, they couldn't do anything. That was really disappointing, if I'm being honest. But still, it was a good episode. Not necessarily perfect, but the episodes were... they were good. Now we move on to Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. That it had some very interesting ideas. But at the same time, I questioned a lot of the plot. I did like the whole theme of Daleks, chasing purity, but at the same time wanting to evolve. I thought that was really well played out. So yeah, that one's going to go into the A category. It was really good, and I did like the whole human hybrid sort of thing. And yeah, that whole theme about purity and that I'll be getting back onto later on with Revolution of the Daleks in this ranking. I really enjoyed that. Now we get onto the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Oh boy, it was basically like the Infinity War and Endgame of the Doctor Who universe at the time, and obviously another big Dalek sequence, with the Daleks invading the Earth and everything like that. I thought that was really well thought out, and yeah, I've got to say, a really good episode, and honestly, I do hope that we get something like that, maybe as like the conclusion of this Dalek trilogy that Chris Chibnall could potentially do, since he's done Resolution and Revolution of the Daleks. But I don't know. Yeah, it was a really good episode, so I'm going to put that in the S tier, because it had a lot going for it, and it was literally like a movie watching that. So, yeah, really, really well done Dalek episodes there, to be honest. Alright, now we move on to Matt Smith's era. That gets a little bit messy. Now, I have noticed they haven't included Time of the Doctor. That, yeah, I can understand why, because the Daleks weren't necessarily a big part of that. Towards the end, they had a little bit more to do, but apart from that, they weren't really at the forefront of the invasion. So we've got Victory of the Daleks. Whilst I do think the Paradigm Daleks are underrated and they should have had more appearances, the actual episode itself was just shocking. I just didn't enjoy it. And yeah, I just didn't really like the whole progenitor thing. It was just a little bit of a rushed episode, I guess. 45 minutes to reintroduce a new brand of Daleks, and then just... yeah, I don't know, the whole Oblivion bomb as well. It was just... I don't know, it just never sat right with me at all. Alright, now we move on to Asylum of the Daleks. Yes, I just had to remember the title there. And again, another bad one. I did not enjoy that one either. Yeah, I can't even think of actually... In my opinion, I can't think of a single good thing about that episode. Like, Series 7 was a little bit of a mixed bag for me anyway, but at the same time, I was really disappointed by it. So yeah, that'll be another reason why it's in the D tier for me. But again, people might have other opinions, but personally, I did not enjoy that. Now, Into the Dalek. Very interesting episode. I'm going to put that as a B. Whilst it wasn't perfect, far from it, I did like the whole idea of Daleks are going to be full of hatred no matter what. And I did like that with Rusty. You know, the Doctor tries to change Rusty's ideals, and essentially what he does is just make him hate the Daleks and exterminate them. So the Daleks are now part of this whole extermination process. That is pretty mad, I'm not going to lie, but you know, the fact that Rusty is still good, but is a good Dalek, like I like that whole message at the end, so yeah, it's pretty cool. But again, wasn't very thought out in terms of, like, again, with Victory of the Daleks. For me, it felt a little bit rushed, and I would have liked to see maybe this episode be a two-parter. I feel like two-parter Dalek episodes do a lot more, or if they're like feature length. Now we get on to The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar. That I'm going to put that as a B as well. Whilst I did like the whole dynamic with the young Davros and stuff like that, it just felt like the Daleks were there as just, well, they did nothing. And that's what I found in Stephen Moffat's era, that the Daleks didn't really do much. And that's why I don't rank his episodes highly at all. But yeah, the Daleks didn't do much. They didn't really exterminate much. You know, they were just there. And especially with the cameos that obviously aren't included on this tier list, the Daleks were just there because, you know, they were popular and they weren't used correctly. And I felt like, yeah, they were overused to shit in his era. But anyway, move on to Resolution. That was the 2019 New Year's Day special that I admit originally I hated, because I was so caught up in, like, oh yeah, we're finally going to get the Daleks medicine, and then they did this whole Venom rip-off thing that I originally hated, but after rewatching it over that gap year, where there's no episodes, I did start to warm up to it a lot. And for that, I'm going to put it as an A, because I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it is a really good standalone Dalek story. I still prefer, obviously, the 2005 Dalek standalone story, but Resolution was pretty good. And for the other plot stuff that I had to deal with, that did kind of let it down. You know, I wasn't that interested in it, because obviously I wasn't that fond of the companions. You know, they still managed to balance it really well for like a 60-minute episode. Now we move on to Revolution of the Daleks. That was our most recent Dalek episode. That's S tier for me straight away. I liked how menacing the Daleks were in this, and how much, well, they had a fucking big kill count in this episode. And yeah, just seemed like the whole little Dalek Civil War as well. It was just perfect in my eyes. And I do hope that Chris Chibnall builds upon these elements with the next Dalek episode he does, because if I'm being honest, he has written the Daleks really well, and I cannot wait to see what happens next in this trilogy, potential trilogy anyway. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like rating and subscribe for more nerdy content, and I will see you all on my next video. Goodbye for now.